Yeah. So, welcome back again. I'm going to talk about the concept of Sumangalam, why we are doing this whole event. And then I will talk about little bit about the technicality of energy security, what are the key issues from the Indian perspective and what are the challenges for Indian perspective. So why we are talking this? Because we all know that we are facing unprecedented situation in the human history. Global warming and climate change are really very much talked about issues, but they are the real issues right now. If you ask me what are the major challenge world is facing today, then the two challenges we are facing, one is energy security and the another one is environmental concern. And the solution for both of them are only one, and that is more and more use of renewable energy. And when we talk about these challenges, there are some hopes also. So in terms of hopes, we all know that this CO2 emission and this global warming, there are technical solutions, mitigations is possible. But when we talk about the technological and policy point of view, then solution is possible, but technological 100% solution for all this problem is not possible. We need to, when we are using this technology, then there is a need for more and more finance. But the country like India, it's very difficult. Next 5 to 10 years are really very, very critical for all of us. We all know that because of the global warming, the temperature is rising. We want to keep this temperature in tune of 1.5 degrees Celsius only, the change. But for that we need to take severe steps and direction. So one direction which has come up after the COP26 summit, which our Honorable Prime Minister has given, that is the changes in lifestyle and behavior. This can contribute a lot. So the government has given this objective, lifestyle for environment, life mission. So we are here under this lifestyle for life environment mission from the Ministry of Power with the help of Power Foundation and Vigyan Bharati, we are organizing this event which is part of the Sumangalam series. So what is basically Sumangalam? We really want that we have to develop a sustainable life, and which is based on Panch Mahabhuta. From our Indic knowledge system, we understand that if anything goes wrong, this is because of the imbalance in Panch Mahabhut. So Sumangalam is the initiative to understand what is going on and how we can relate this Panch Mahabhut and what is the imbalance which is taking place in Panch Mahabhut, how we can rectify this, how we can present the entirely a new concept which is based on Indic knowledge system across the world. So this is the Sumangalam initiative, and the objective is, of course, we have to go for the Bharatiya Darshan with respect to the present crisis which we are facing due to the climate change. So this we all know this is happening because of the imbalance in the 5 element. So what is the perspective of the Indic value system or Indic knowledge system in this? We all know, as we have seen, Sahai Sahab has also spoken, our chief guest has also spoken, that in our Indic knowledge system we treat everything as an integral part. There is no difference. We treat our human being as an integral part of nature. So there, whatever we do with the nature perspective by taking into the point of view of nature. We all remember our mothers gives water every day in the morning to the sun and Tulsi. So what is this? Because we worship them. We worship the sun. We worship the environment. So this system is our Indic knowledge system. If we worship something, we are not going to destroy that. So this is our concept. So we also understand from our Indic knowledge system that object and observer is same. So there is no difference. And we also know that the science of the today is struggling for this mitigation of this climate change problem. So they need to understand and they need to come up with a life with harmonize with the human life, with the nature. Because in the East, actually, they always think that the human is the super super thing. They have all control of all the 5 elements, so they can use them for the comfort of the human being. This was the concept, their Western concept. And our concept is we want to do progress with the nature also. So we worship nature. So this concept we want to come up, and that's why this whole concept of Sumangalam is started, which works on the 5 bhutas, Panch Mahabhuta. So we want to study this, we want to propagate this, and that's why we are sitting together here for discussing the Agni. So the Agni, which is one of the Panch Mahabhuta, that is given to the Ministry of Power. So the main objective of Sumangalam series is to present unique Indian concept, firstly to secure purity of the 5 elements, which are earth, water, fire, air and space. And secondly, for attaining this balance or the harmony between them for the survival and sustainability of life in the earth. So this is the concept of Panch Mahabhuta. You can see this in the pictorial form. And this Panch Mahabhuta really represent the all encompassing 5 forms of matter in ancient Indian tradition. So that's why to understand this concept of Panch Mahabhuta, we have come up with the lifestyle for environment, which is the life concept. So life aims to promote an environmental conscious lifestyle which will help to reduce wasteful consumption. So that's why it's very important to understand, as I have already mentioned, if you worship anything, you are not going to waste that. You are not going to do disrespect for the thing which you are worshipping. So if we worship the nature, we are not going to waste anything. So the time has come when we need to understand, as Sanjeev Nandan Saha has mentioned, that we are the number 3rd as far as installed capacity and energy consumption is concerned. But our per capita consumption is 1/3 of the all developed nation. But this is good when we talk about the environmental concern. So we really use energy consciously, and we really want to know how to save this electricity. So I'll come later for the technical point of view, how we can implement this technically. But this mission is our mission, lifestyle for environment. Until unless we change our lifestyle, it's really not worthy to talk about the environment, and it's not worthy to talk that we are concerned about the climate. So it is very much important. People can ask how I can contribute, but of course this question was asked and very nicely answer is given by the students. We can be a change maker. We can take a small steps in our life, and we can be a change maker for promoting life mission of Government of India. So as we all know, the power is a basic infrastructure which is very essential for the development of all other infrastructure sector. If the power is available, we are really powerful. We can actually implement all the things which we really want to implement for improving the status of our country, as well as for improving the life and the comfort of everyone. So the government was aiming to provide power to all. Now the government is aiming to provide power to all by 24/7. So when we really want to give the power to all by 24/7, then it is very much obvious that we can fulfill the objective by providing the Digital India concept, by providing Skill India, smart cities, energy efficiency, Swachh Bharat, whatever, Make in India, Atma Nirbhar Bharat, everything is related with the energy. So if we are having 24/7 power available, then we can fulfill the objective of Government of India. But of course, for that we need to emphasize on energy security. We need to become energy secure in future, because we all know what is happening globally nowadays. Because of the Ukraine and Russia war, there is a problem. First time there is a crisis globally. And I was reading one article where people are saying that in UK people are fearing whether they will be able to meet the energy requirement at the winter time. Winter is very harsh in the Europe. So whether they will be able to have electricity or not. So they are coming up in our concept, use blanket, because Otherwise, I have been to UK, they have no concept of using blanket and jacket at home, at any other place, because it's comfortable. Electricity is there, they are using electricity to make the temperature which is comfortable. But now they are talking about how to use blanket, how to use blower, because electricity may not be available for keeping the temperature. So this is the situation right now in UK and Europe because of this war. So it is more and more important now that we need to talk about, we need to understand what is the concept of energy security for us in future. As far as growth is concerned in the world, this was a survey done long back in 2018 by the World Economic Forum, and they have projected that in 2008 the world energy consumption was 400 QBTU. In this 400 QBTU, the share from the middle developed countries was 270 and the lower developed country was 130 QBTU. But they have also done the projection for the future. So future by 2050, they are giving the data that the world energy consumption will be double, 800 QBTU, and in this double, the share from the middle developed country will be 320, but the mere share from the lower developed country will be around 480 QBTU as compared to 130 QBTU. So it means that energy will be required in future from the lower developed country because already others have developed, so they want more electricity for the development. It's not changing. This is not changing. So let us talk about what we are doing. In India, actually we are 1.35 billion people, number 2 in the world. I know that this is where we are going. We will be number 1 in the future, very soon, within 2-3 years. So at least population wise, we can say that we will be number 2 in the right now number 2, but soon we will become number 1. We require electricity for eliminating poverty and improving the minimum lifestyle of our people. We are number 3rd in the world as far as installed capacity is concerned. We are just behind US and China, and we are number 4th in the renewable energy as far as wind capacity is concerned. So we are number 2 amongst the emerging economies. That's why India is not known as a developing nation. It is known as a transitional economies. By 2022, we are aiming to include, 22 is ending, we have already achieved the target of adding more than 170 gigawatt renewable energy capacity. We really have a very ambitious goal. Ministry of Power has a very ambitious goal by adding 500 gigawatt by 2030. So, as I already mentioned, that we are the 7th largest producer of hydroelectric power in the world. And the government is giving lot of emphasis for hydro capacity addition because we all know that we are going for renewable. We have not added even a single unit by coal in the last 2 years. So hydro is needed because hydro is considered as a source of renewable energy. And very much important thing is that 46% of the total installed capacity, which is more than 400 gigawatt, is coming from the private players. 46% from the private player. It means that we have a very unique structure. We have a very comfortable electricity sector, which is based on market mechanism principle, so that private players are very, very comfortable for doing investment, for adding more installed capacity in the total installed capacity. So India is also not changing. India is also home to the world first and only 100% solar powered airport. Can anyone tell me which is that airport? Kochi. Yes. Very nice. We are also coming up with the world largest solar power plant in Banala Solar Park, which is in Rajasthan, with a capacity of 2,225 megawatt. The 4 of the top 7 largest solar parks worldwide are coming in India. including one in the Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh, with a capacity of 1,000 megawatt. So we are the first country in the world for establishing the special ministry for Ministry of Non and Conventional Energy Resources, which is now known as a Non and Renewable Energy Sources Ministry. We have done a lot of investment, and we are going to do a lot of investment in future for renewable energy, because this is the only way we can secure energy. As far as growth is concerned, I'm not able to show you, but we have done a remarkable progress. We started with in 1947 with the 1,300 megawatt, and now we are having more than 400 gigawatt. So remarkable progress, with number 3rd in the world as far as installed capacity is concerned. We are able to electrify all the villages in India, and our per capita consumption has also increased. Of course, in the total installed capacity, the major share, as already mentioned by Sanjeev Sahai sir, is coming from the coal, but we really want to increase. We have clearly specified that by 2030 we will add 500 gigawatt by renewable, and also we have the net zero mission also, that by 2070 India will become net zero country. So with this objective, we have a very ambitious plan, and we really want to do work hard so that we can not only improve the environmental concern, but we also can move for securing energy for Indian perspective. Our competitor is always China. So from China, actually, we are far behind for improving more installed capacity. I am not able to show this figure, but of course we are doing very hard, and we really want to come up more and more renewable energy in future. So when we talk about energy security, every country has a very specific definition for the energy security, but whatever we are having, we really want to use that, and so that our future generation will also use this comfortable life. So energy security definition, which is given by the International Energy Agency, is that it means that having stable access to energy sources on a timely, sustainable and affordable basis. Access to energy is not only crucial in supporting the provision of basic needs such as food, lighting, water and essential health care, but it is first and foremost a precondition to economic growth, political stability and prosperity. We are seeing that in the energy security now we are also talking about the cyber security, because we have seen that in the Ukraine-Russia war, the first attack was the cyber security attack on the basic infrastructure, that is power. So they try to attack the power station. So when there is no electricity, there will be no other healthcare system, IT infrastructure will work. So this electricity is very critical. So cyber security is also one of the point for securing our energy. So we all are concerned, as I am involved with the many research, and we are daily witnessing that people are trying to attack. Attackers are used to try to attack in your system, और 1000 में से एक बार वो सफल हो सकता है. So now we are very sure that we need to make our system cyber secure also in future. So for this affordable electricity, to secure the energy security, this is very important in the point of view because our demand is increasing. As we are progressing, we are seeing that there is a huge demand. And we have seen this time in the summer, the demand passes all the past record. So we really want to secure that our future people will get the electricity. So electricity generation is not the only thing, but we need to supply this electricity to the last mile people, to the consumer. So we need infrastructure support for transmission and distribution also. Anyway, so in the future, actually, we really want to add more. I have beautiful pictures, but I'm sorry I'm not able to show that. So we are talking about today's topic is energy security for Nirbhar Bharat. How we can achieve this and how the role of clean energy in Nirbhar Bharat. What we have learned from the present energy crisis which world is witnessing after the war between Russia and Ukraine, we need to be very, very, so it is not just we are talking about geographically concerned fossil fuel, but we are more concerned about the distributed renewable energy in future. So for becoming Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have to take clear lesson from what is happening globally in terms of energy crisis. So already we are dependent for the oil import, and India is being pushed into the untenable position of importing more fossil fuel, as already mentioned by Sahai Saab, that our coal is not sufficient. We still rely on the coal, but our coal is not sufficient. So we are buying coal from many other nations. This is very costly coal, but our coal also has lot of ash content. So we are dependent on others. So how in this situation we can become Atmanirbhar? So also we are seeing that inflation is going on, and we really want to provide electricity in all the corners. We really want to cover the rural section also. So we need to use many indigenous technologies. We need to use indigenous solutions to meet our energy demand. And one of the very good solution, because we all know that distribution companies are really in a panic situation. Financially they are not viable. And what they are putting blame, they are putting blame on the that it is not metered, agriculture supply is free. But now Government of India is coming up with a very good initiative of Kusum Yojana. In this Kusum scheme, the villagers has been going to give the solar full pump set free of cost. Free of cost means 60% contribution will come from the central and 40% will come from the, and there is no fuel cost if they are running their pumps with the help of solar. So in this way, with indigenous solution we need to come up. So in the Atmanirbhar Bharat, if we really want to become, then we need to use more and more solar indigenous solutions with the distributed sources for solar, and of course wind. We need to go for the e-transportation. We need to use green hydrogen in future. That is the only way when we can go become the independent and Atmanirbhar Bharat as far as energy security is concerned. We need to take certain steps to make sure about the energy security for India. The very first step we need to take towards that goal is to minimize energy demand through efficiency. Whatever we are using, it's not efficient in India. Whatever appliance we are using, we are not concerned about that. The cost is the primary factor whenever we choose anything in India. So suppose I want to buy an AC, I will go to the market. I may not go for 5-star rating if free electricity is available to me. Why should I bother? Electricity is free. So freebie games is very, very dangerous sometimes. But as we know that we are a democratic country and electricity is a very political issue. So if we really want to improve the efficiency, we need to become more aware what we are using. So we really want to minimize energy demand by using efficient appliances. This is the first step towards the energy security for India. And we need to also use all our appliances, energy efficient appliances. Also we need to use our Indic knowledge system to make the buildings, which like today's we are in SPA Vijayawada, the building is so good. Natural light is coming, natural air is coming. So we need to go for the building appliance, and industry also. Strategically they need to adopt the measure to improve the energy efficiency. So in the next 10 years, building energy efficiency use is expected to become the largest consumer of electricity in the country. By 2030, India will have added nearly 1 billion square meters of new commercial floor space. By 2030, electricity demand in both residential and commercial buildings sector is projected to rise by 5-fold and 3-fold respectively. So keeping in this demand rise, we really need to become more and more cautious for minimize energy demand through energy efficiency. We are already making way ahead in this direction. We have Bureau of Electricity Efficiency, and this Bureau of Electricity Efficiency implements all measures regarding efficiency policies, and they are taking care, and this BEE, which is Bureau of Energy Efficiency, have saved on estimate of 300 million tons of CO2 emission by using the efficiency appliances and efficiency measures. However, a big and simple opportunity remain untrapped. Implementing building energy codes that set minimum efficiency level for commercial buildings, that is not popular, but this need to be popular in future. Second step for energy security and becoming an Atma Nirbhar in energy security, that is electrify transportation. We all know that we are talking too much about the e-vehicles nowadays, and everybody says that, oh, those who are not pro for the EV, they will say, okay, there is no infrastructure available for charging. Why you are talking about electric vehicle? But I remember in the one speech where Gadkari ji, somebody has asked the same question to Gadkari ji. तो गडकरी जी ने उसको बड़ा हिंदी में बहुत सटीक सा आंसर दिया कि अरे अभी शादी होती है, शादी नहीं हुई तो कहते हैं बच्चे कैसे होंगे, अरे शादी होगी तो बच्चे हो जाएंगे, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल आएगा तो चार्जिंग स्टेशन भी आ जाएंगे, तो आने तो दीजिए. We Indians are very commercial, very innovative people. If the electric vehicle will come, charging station will also come. So this was his answer, and I know that lot of emphasis is given for using EV in future. So electrify transportation in terms of public transport, actually that is already happening. I have seen in Calcutta one mission where 1,000 buses, electric buses are going to come. Similarly, all the metro cities are planning for e-vehicle for public transportation. Lot of incentive and schemes are there by Government of India for incentivize people to go for EV vehicle in future. And one professor, I remember, he came to our institute from Australia 5 years back, and he was telling कि दो सब लोग दहेज में गाड़ी मांगते हैं, तो अब अगर दहेज में गाड़ी मांगो तो डीजल गाड़ी नहीं लेना, पेट्रोल गाड़ी भी मत लेना, ईवी व्हीकल मांगना, क्योंकि बड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट इन फ्यूचर इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. So we in Delhi, we know that how critical are the norms because of the air pollution in Delhi. But we really want, and the Indian budget for 2022 also has made a big push towards mainstreaming electric mobility in future. To fully unlock the $1 billion opportunity that is powering EVs through renewable energy, several policy levers must be pulled up. Make it easier for EV, for charging provided to procure renewable energy, encourage interstate trading and transmission of renewable energy for power EVs, and provide power banking facility for energy operator. Why not we become a sweeping batteries are available? You need not to wait in the charging station, but you just replace your battery. जैसे गैस सिलेंडर खत्म हो जाता है घर का, तो हम गैस सिलेंडर रिप्लेस कराते हैं. तो why not this sweeping batteries would be available in the stations? So I have just go, I replace my battery, I'll just go back. And so this all facility we need to give to make our more EV penetration in future in India. This is very much required. This will not only create jobs but reduce the air pollution and combating climate change at all the same time. Third step for this towards the energy security is meet energy demand through locally produced renewable energy and green hydrogen. Okay, I'll not go because time is limited for me. Sanjay, you have to tell me how much time is left out. 5 minutes? Okay. So this is the picture I love, because we want to see this for making us energy secure in future. This is Atma Nirbhar Bharat. We need to go for that to achieve this Atma Nirbhar Bharat in securing energy security. So I was here, and the third step is to meet energy demand through locally produced renewable energy and green hydrogen. The government has come up with a clear-cut policy for the green hydrogen this is going to help us in future. As because of the time, I'll not go into the detail, but there is several solutions to go for this third step for securing energy security. Of course, this is conflicting objective because we want electricity for eliminating poverty in our country and providing minimum standard, but how to bring about the development transformation of its economy while taking into account the impact of growth in the environment. So this conflicting objective can be solved when we come back to our system, index system. So climate security and energy security must go hand in hand. That is the only way where really we would like to go in future. So this I really want that my all village ladies should have solar cooker in future. This picture is very close to my heart. This is also very close to my heart because we have seen the corona pandemic and corona में कोई स्कूल बंद नहीं हुआ. क्यों नहीं हुआ? क्योंकि हमारे पास solar panels थे. They are able to provide electricity to the school even in the village. Just I want to show you how the earth look at night. ये images हैं Google से ली हुई. Sorry. This picture I was mentioning that every lady in India should have this solar cooker so that she can use clean cooking in future. This is the solution. This is, if you see the earth in night, earth will look like this. Some part in this is dark. And what about this? This is India. And this actually is lighted. And the part which is not lighted, you can guess, it's Africa. So we are going to meet the aim of our Honorable Prime Minister, 24/7 electricity. That is the aim. And he really, this is a very good quote, माना है अंधेरा घना है, लेकिन दिया जलाना कहाँ मना है. Thank you so much for patience hearing. If you really have some questions, I will be very honored to take any questions if you have. Otherwise, you can discuss anything because I don't want to make, yes. Yeah. You can come and that will be better. You please come. You can come here and speak so that all others can understand what question you are asking.
Ma'am, very nice presentation. By the way, I am Dr. Lakshmi Kumar. I am from SRM University. In the COP meeting, and they follow mostly the IPCC guidelines. So IPCC every 5 years they give some projections. They also produce some modeled data for the different countries across the world, what are the emissions. So recently I think we are following this AR6, Assessment Report 6 of IPCC. When we see the emissions and especially the pollutants that are coming from different regions, I think morning one speaker has mentioned that India and China, they are showing more emissions or across the world. Okay, but earlier there were some more emissions in the Europe. I think they mentioned that they followed some policies and due to that, the emissions have been declined. But when you see recent picture till 2014, that was the recent for the historical trends of IPCC. So we found that India and China, as Sir told, it is showing highest emissions. See, after seeing that data, so what we found is immediately this IPCC released these data sets. Immediately I found that there was a research in China, so countering those emissions. And they mentioned that in one or two research papers, these emission data which is provided by IPCC is wrong. The country, in that paper it was mentioned, I'll come to that point. So you need to have little background for that. And they mentioned that since the country is following many climate policies, their emissions have been gradually decreased, and however the IPCC could not take those data. So, but when I see for India, so we don't have any such kind of research. Why? Because we don't have proper emissions data. So when you have proper emissions data and it is available to the users, so I think it will be very good for us to counter such kind of things. And I am sure that, I have seen that the Prime Minister Modi's speech in COP26, so by 2070 there should be zero carbon footprint, Modi ji was telling in the meeting, sorry. And probably whatever the policies, as you mentioned that we have a lot of solar installed capacity and potentials and everything. So what are the emissions that are being reduced because of these policies? If there is any document, or if we can document these results or the data sets, it will be great use for the user community or research community to mention in the world forum. So do you have any comment on this?
Yeah.
Or?
Sir, want to say? Yeah.
Your point on data is very important.
Yes, sir.
But there are some sites independent. So Climate Trace is one site where they have used remote sensing satellites to calculate the kind of emissions, different countries, industry-wise, activity-wise. I don't know whether you've seen it or not. So these are reasonably accurate at an aggregate level. There may be some problem,
yes.
At a very micro level, but when you're looking at a country level, I would strongly recommend you to look at Climate Trace. It's independent. Your point that we must have data is taken,
yes.
But please go and see that.
Yeah. What we feel is most of the data, I think it should be useful for research, and that also we should see. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And secondly, please don't rely anything which is produced by China. Any report is not reliable report. Whatever data they are giving, they are not even saying that corona has happened, right, in their country. So we can't rely whatever report is coming. But of course, IPCC latest report is very scary, very, very scary. When the report came, my daughter works in the Center for Policy Research. She came up with that highlighted portion that 20 years only left out. This report has clearly said. So it's very, very important for all of us to take a small step to save our environment so that our future for our generation is secure. We have done a lot of, like I myself can say, my age people have done a lot of damage to the earth. But we are asking this new generation to not to do and not repeat the mistake which we have done. Thank you so much. Thank you.